Hello everybody, and welcome to a very small recording which I've called 1 Week On with the Blue Yeti X. And anybody that watched my blog on the 2nd of July will know that I won a microphone earlier that week, and it was unexpected. I'd always meaning to better my podcasts. I'm pretty sure that if you've watched any of our friends on Discord or looked at any of the comments in any of my blogs, you'll always see appreciation for everything I've done, which is lovely. Thank you so much. But there are always some, quite rightly, that are pointing out, what's that unusual clicking? Why is that noise there? What's that clanging noise? It was a bit distracting, but great content as always, Del, that sort of thing, you know? And for most of the ones that are outside, I can't do anything about it. Now, usually when I'm inside, I use the microphone audio. And if I was doing a recording that involved playing a game, because I wouldn't want the microphone of the camera picking up the game sounds through the speakers, I would use a headset like this, which has a microphone. Don't worry, this microphone's disabled. So I decided I really can't afford a microphone. I have no idea which ones are the good ones and which ones are the bad ones. So I'll just look at a couple of videos. When I was looking at these videos, I saw they came in sort of like two versions. USB, which is common, and XLR, which would require a preamp. Now, I'm not going to go down the preamp route. But what you have to understand about a USB mic and an XLR mic is that when you're spending £100, say, on an XLR mic, that is all you're getting. £100 worth of mic, which means it must be a bloody good mic, you know, because they can go to 200, 300, 400 pro mics. When you buy a USB mic, sometimes they can be what they call dynamic or condenser. You're not just buying a mic, you're buying everything else. And what I mean by that is inside it will be a preamp that will boost your signal, and there'll also be an analog digital converter which turns the lovely analog sound of my voice to digital for my computer to therefore record my voice. So when you're buying a microphone, you're actually buying 3 parts to it, and each one of those parts would be something like £20 or £30 because you've got the housing around it as well. So it can't be a very good mic, can it? So some of these mics, what they call sort of semi-pro edition, they're £100 plus. And the Blue Yeti X is listed around about the £140 mark, depending on where you look. And it's probably one of the most common microphones used. Although if I had the choice of buying a mic after having this for a week now, I'd have probably gone for the Elgato Wave. And I'll let you look yourself at the specs of that particular mic, okay, to see why I would choose it. But for now, I'm very, very, very happy with my choice. And just to show you where it is at the moment in my room, it is just here. You can see it. It's on a nice sort of a arm, and it's got a pop filter. I could use a circular pop filter. It did come with one, but for now, it's just covering the head of the mic. Okay. So I'll put you back to camera view. And how has my experience been after a week? Well, I've done a blog And when I played it back, I thought the sound was very clear. And I did a live stream, and from a point of view of a live stream, I thought it was very good. There was a couple of people that said that the music, the game that I was playing, was slightly too loud compared to my voice. A friend of mine called Colin read out some values. I read those, put those values in. Everything seemed to come across really quite nicely. And I'm very, very happy with it. And my recommendations at the moment are, if anybody wants to buy a mic, do your research. Very, very important. And then choose the one that's best within your budget. The reason that I did this is that I was finding that I didn't want to wear a headphone too much because most of my content is blog. Yeah, so that's just talking naturally. The rest is recording games, and that's where the external mic loses out slightly because it will pick up the speakers. So I will have to therefore go back to wearing headphones or fiddling around with obs so that the sound I don't hear. Yeah, but you guys do. And that's generally what obs is all about for me, as well as the capture part. So do I really need this external mic? And after a week, I've decided I did, and I'm glad I got it. Just to give you a bit of a recap on what I said in my blog, I put a £10 bid, which was the minimum bid, singular, during the week on an eBay item that was listed as new and not wanted present. Okay, sealed as well. And the bid ended at 3 o'clock in the morning on the Wednesday, I think it was. So I put that on, nobody bid, and I won. Now, the postage was quite expensive. The person that did it put £15 postage. So I won £140.50 mic for a tenner plus postage. Okay. And I was very, very happy. And I was skeptical. Was I going to get something that was broken when it turned up? Was the person going to fulfill the order and say, oh, it was a mistake and he was withdrawing? But no, the money was accepted. I got an email in the morning when I woke up to say that I'd won the bid, to say that it would be off today with a 24 to 48 hour tracking, which many must have been using quite a good service. And this bad boy turned up on the Friday morning. There we go. The Yeti X. All sealed, just like he said. And thinking it'll be okay, I'm sure. On Amazon, on the Thursday, I chose a boom arm and a mic shock absorber for this particular mic. If they turned up and the mic didn't, I could send them back. That's my thoughts. So I didn't do any investigation into the quality of these products. The shock absorber is by the company that make the mic, so I had no issues with that. The boom arm didn't do any research at all. I just hoped for the best. I looked at the articulation. That's pretty much all it was. Those things cost more than the mic and the postage. So where the mic and the postage was £25, I bought these two items, and those two items together came to, I think, £45-50. So all in all, I'd now spent 75-80. You can imagine things are creeping up, and you're going, you still bought some kit here. But if you can imagine that you'd be doing that with the full value of the mic, 140 quid plus the arm, plus the shock absorber, you can, the sound absorber, you can imagine. So it turned up. I set it up in the best place that I could think of in here, and I did my research on the Thursday, and the first thing I found out was the positioning of the mic. This is where I'm going to change view now and bring you to media view, because as soon as you put this mic in, my G Hub, which controls my camera, downloaded this called Blue Voice, and that's where I think the blue comes from. So it's a manipulation piece of software, and when I was researching all of this, it told me about how I speak into the microphone. And there are 4 ways. There is stereo, omni, cardioid, and bidirectional. And this is where you have to understand a little bit about the boom mic part of this particular microphone. So if I show you a picture of it again, this part. There. Yeah. So it has 4 parts to it, 4 sides. If I put it on stereo, then the microphones inside that piece are left and right, because there are 4 what they call capsulations. If I put it on omni, it picks it all up. If I put it on cardioid, it's just the front and everything else is turned off. So it filters all the sound around the back and the sides. And bidirectional is just like it says, bidirectional. Yep. So for most of what I do, it's on cardioid. Yeah. So I should be speaking directly into it like that. But for eliminating as much effects as possible, I have it so it's just here. I can move this boom arm if I need to. Okay, so I'm going to just do a little bit of manipulation here in Omni for the display capture and capture the cursor. So hopefully now you can see my cursor. Okay, so this is the software and those are the 4 settings, and I'm on cardioid. Now if I turn off Blue Voice, you get just the mic. That's how it sounds with the mic, and I've got the input gain as low as possible, I thought, so that it doesn't pick up all the clicking sounds from my mouse or from the keyboard. But as soon as I enable Blue Voice, it puts me on broadcast 1 copy, and it brings up some definite details of how I can change some of this sound quality. I can even do a signal cleanup and do noise reduction, compressor, depopper. It's got a massive amount for you to research and look at. Okay, I don't do too much of that. I think these presets are actually quite good. So let's sort of like see, shall we? So if I put it onto AM, I think what that is I should be now sounding like I'm on AM radio. Now I'll leave you to make the choice on whether you think that I definitely sound like I'm on an AM radio. I don't think anybody could really mess up what this sounds like if you're on bass boost. So this should be increasing the bass levels, and I can even see that the equalizer and the voice equalizer have changed slightly over on the right hand side there. And if I now change it to broadcaster 1, that should sound almost like the copy version that I'm using here. Hopefully all very good so far, and I found that one to sound like the warmest, so I used that one. Broadcaster 2, I think it clipped too much. I found that it picked up the voice very nicely, but a little bit higher. If I now change to classic radio, I should sound like a radio broadcaster. I have no idea whether it's doing that or not. All of these are settings that I don't really use too much. You've got crisp and warm. Do I sound crisp and warm? You let me know. And I can only imagine FM is just like our old days on FM radio. Not half, mate. I don't probably sound very much like them at all. So we'll go to high voice loud. Now this is where I go, I haven't got a high voice. So is this made the pitch different? There is a change to pitch, but it hasn't changed much. I don't think it's doing much at all. I think these ones I would have to sort of like check out. Then you've got high voice soft. You make your decisions here. Low voice loud, low voice soft. Now I take it those things are pitching, and they're basically altering things so that my voice becomes a bit softer and not so sharp. And then the last one is warm and vintage. So I'm just going to go back to Broadcaster 1 because that's the one that I use the most. I think that one sounds clearer. It's the one that I use during my podcasts. And if you look over here, you'll see there's a create button. I've got the ability, therefore, to take these stock presets, make a copy, and start manipulating them using all of this software over here. But that's not just it. If you look over at the top here, and I keep missing this, there is something called effects. If I go to effects, there is now a browse button, a create button, and some voice effects. And there is quite a few of them. It's off at the moment. But we're going to have a bit of fun now. They say what they say they are, and we'll say whether we think that they're correct. Okay? But
I should now be sounding like an alien. These should be fun. I hope they are. The next one says wild voice. I'm wild, yeah, wild. Woo. Hopefully that sounds like a wild voice. The next one is DJ Robot.
Am I a wicka DJ Robot? Doubtful. But I did check this one the other day.
Demon. I did speak to my mate, told him that if he listened to what I made anymore, then he'd become deaf. And that's coming from the devil, which is me, Demon.
And then we've got Dream. Do I sound like I'm in a dream? Does my voice dreamy? Are all the girls swooning now because my voice is dreamlike? Bollocks. Of course it's not. But I hope it's a fun one. The next
one is Electro Beast. I'm an Electro Beast now. Yeah. Something out of a game, why not? And then we've got Ethereal. I need to think what things are. Ethereal. Can't even imagine what that is. The next one is Fishbowl. Now I can only imagine Fishbowl is me with a helmet on. Right? Or trapped in a fishbowl, which is all round sides of glass with an opening at the top. Whether they change it every year, I have no idea.
We've then got high pitch. Hopefully my voice has now gone high. And then we've got low pitch. So hopefully I've gone deep. Now all the time I'm talking, by the way, I'm talking normally. Then we've got haunted. So does this give an eerie, haunted way of doing things? I know exactly what this one's going to sound like.
I'm going to put Helium Chipmunk on. I now sound, I dare say, like those dreaded chipmunks that had those songs out in the 60s. And I know what helium does, so we'll see.
And then we've got robot. There's so many different ways that you can portray a robot, so hopefully this one does sound okay.
And then you've got Sentinel, which is going to be like an omni-god type thing, I should think. Hopefully it's pretty good. Then you've got Sinister, so this is where I put on, I suppose, all the different words that make me sound like I'm going to kill someone, like, I'll get you Penelope Pitstop, or something like that. And then
you've got jump pitch. Now, What dual pitch is going to do, don't know, but it says here, pitch shift and pitch shift for primary and secondary voice with a flanger. Ooh, just noticed that these things over here have also got some ambience settings. Keep an eye on the screen, people.
Then you've got subconscious. So this is me talking to myself, is it? So my subconscious is telling me, yeah, take that money from that little girl and then you can go and get yourself a pint. Something like that. Definitely not what I would do. That's a horrible subconscious. Little devil on my shoulder telling me to do something.
Then you've got synth, robot, and this one's got something called a talk box and an oscillation. So it looks like there's going to be tons and tons of changes that I can do to all of these.
Whisper hopefully decreases my voice to a whisper or gives some type of whisper effect.
And the last one is witness protection. I don't know. They made up all of these. I have no idea what they're talking about. So we'll go back to
Off, and if I am on off, I am now back to blue voice and broadcast one copy. But just to let you know, there is a browse button, and if I click browse, it comes up with the internet, and there are settings for me to download. And oh my god, look how many categories there are. And then you've got all of these that you can just download, and all they do is give you settings for your microphone. They're not people's voices or samples or effects. So my god, this thing has got a ton of features, and that's just covering the microphone. If I now turn to sampler, I can create samples and I can alter these using an equalizer as well. Just to give you an idea, here is an air raid, and I will press the play button. You should now be hearing an air raid. Ooh. Bloody hell, look. Everything's just about to be destroyed. We're going to die. Ah! The next one is called Eastern Sands. Yeah, quite nice. Ooh, little bit of drum. Yeah. Then when I've Enchanted Meadow, because you know I go on my walks. They're a bit of a pond. Ooh, isn't that nice? Definitely, I don't hear that when I'm walking on my walks, even when I'm out towards into the fields. So we've got a haunted house. Oh, sounds a bit eerie. Oh, who opened that door? You almost use some of these in a radio play, couldn't you? Some footsteps. Can you hear them? Oh, too scary. Southern Moonlight. How come every time somebody does Southern Moonlight you get crickets? I don't know. Subaquatic? Is that going to be underwater? Oh yeah. And the last one is Catacombs. Oh yeah, I'm in a cave. Cheddar Gorge. Haven't been there in years. So we'll go back to the microphone. And just bear with me a minute. Nice thing is I've got a cough filter. I'm just going to go back to the camera and end. This is just a very quick fun thing. And it's a week on. I'm very happy with what I got through the post. And I think it will bring immense value to what I'm going to do in the future. Is it worth you going out and getting one, guys? At that sort of price, I'd definitely look at the competition. If I was choosing a microphone, like as I said, I'd probably buy the Elgato Wave. I could even go My Mate Ponder's route and get little caterpillar type microphone buds. That'd be one way of doing something. I think this will come in very handy if I ever move into podcasts. If I wanted to move the microphone into a bigger room and talk around a room, because it's got omni-directional recording. Right now, I'm just pointing at and recording directly into the microphone. And from that point of view, you're getting a good, clear voice, I think. And from that point of view, I think it's going to stop all that clicking noise and so forth. I hope this one turns out well. I am happy, very happy with this. And I hope that you found this quite informative. It's the best way for me to put this. Have a great weekend, folks. The blog will be coming out. And next week, I'll be doing something again, a little bit of back to what I did before. That might make my mate Denny a bit happy, because I'm not even going to mention what that is. But what I've done before, Denny, that you always get quite excited about when I'm doing my content. And I'll leave it with that and say salute to you all and have a great weekend. Bye-bye.